Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature. Learn, grow, and take charge of your retirement. This is the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial Group.
All right, so we have talked endlessly about the importance of building out a proper income strategy, a spending plan for our retirement. So I wanted to ask you about how it affects our Medicare premiums, because how the domino falls and the effect of that can really shake people up. They don't know the rules of things and how things work. So when it comes to higher income in retirement, it can push your Medicare premiums higher as well. And there was an article on moneywise.com saying that even selling your home can trigger a premium increase. Is that true? This is just another example of the nitty-gritty that people don't even realize.
Yeah, I mean, selling your home, people say, well, no, you got the exclusion. I don't have to pay taxes on that. And
right.
There's some truth to that.
Yeah.
It's up $250 per person. So each person has a $250,000 exclusion. And what that means is if you have a home you bought for $250,000,
yeah,
and it sells for $500,000, well, you've each got $250,000. That's $500,000. So the point is that first $250,000 you bought it for doesn't count against you. The next $250,000 is gain.
Okay.
But that one of your $250,000s would take out that $250,000 and there's no tax to you.
Okay.
But let's say you're single and you bought a house for $250,000 and now you got to go in a nursing home. And this is a true story.
Yeah.
Now you got to go in a nursing home and the home sold for $850,000.
Okay.
Well, $250,000, your $250,000 exclusion. Now you've got $350,000 of capital gains you got to pay taxes on.
Wow.
Now, I'm not a tax accountant, but I bet you if you check with them, that's about how the numbers will work. Not about, but that's probably how the numbers will work. It's a better way to say it.
Okay.
So that's $350,000. Well, they were selling the house, one, to prevent giving it all to a nursing home, but two, they're going to hold that cash after taxes now. Plus, it drove up what we call IRMAA on the Medicare.
And IRMAA
so
stands
they're trying to be cost effective, right? Because if she goes in a nursing home and it's $100,000 a year for the next 5 years, it could suck up all of that money, right? Now you had to pay taxes out of it on that $350,000. Say it come out 20% on you, just hypothetically. Well, that's $70,000 of that money that would have gone towards nursing home now goes to the government. Then it jacks that person up, that single person. It'll jack up their Medicare cost for the next couple of years, right? Because they'll look back up from this year forward for the next couple of years. You got to pay additional Medicare premiums, which is outrageous when you think about it. Yep. Because if you take the IRMAA brackets under that scenario I just gave you, this lady's going to be was paying $202, is now going to be between $446 a month and $487 a month. So that's an additional hit for the next couple of years. And her Part D is going to go anywhere from about $60 to $83 a month of additional cost. So all that's going to pop in there. I hope it doesn't happen. This is just a recent thing that happened with, they're not a client, but it's someone I know of.
Okay.
And that's what they're doing. They're like, this is so unfair.
It is.
Here we gotta deal with all this. Now, she's going to have to spend down her own money. They just took money in taxes. Now they're going to jack up our Medicare for the next couple of years. So it's going to take another 10 or 12,000 over that period of time, however that dollar falls out. But it's just like, wow, please stop, And IRMAA is a real thing, and they jack up how much you got to pay for this. There's always a gotcha when it comes to anything that's, here's the free program or the, Medicare for all or whatever the case may be. It's never free.
Nothing is free. There is no free
whenever
lunch.
they say it's free, run, Forrest, run. There's never free.
I know.
Because if we can hold you down in this world, then yes, it'll be free for you. But if you dare to earn anything or happen to come across and have a home worth X dollars, well, by golly, we're going to take that money because we're going to create this chart. And it's like nothing's free. And so in a nutshell, yes, selling a home can cost you a big hit on IRMAA. Also, you have the capital gains under that scenario. So it just depends. So her and her spouse, who had passed away, it was about 8 months, 9 months, I guess it is a few months. He passed away. Was $250 went with him when he died because they didn't do the proper planning. That extra $250, if they'd have done some simple planning, could have been used towards that $350. Now all of a sudden you only have $100,000 worth of taxes. Maybe your taxes shook out to be about 15% on that extra $100,000. See what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just simple planning that could have made a big difference because all that other money doesn't count against you. It's only on taxable money, your modified adjusted gross. So your gross taxable is when they hit you. And if you just go $1 over 109, boom, as a single person, over 218, boom, you go to the next level, which is another $80 or so a month per person. And it's just, it's nickel and dime, nickel and dime, nickel and dime. And those numbers go up every year. So really, folks, planning around knowing these gotchas, and that's really what this segment's about. There's so many little gotchas. IRMAA's just easier to explain. It's just so many gotchas. Remember, no cost, no obligation. We'll sit down and look at your big picture. We'll see if IRMAA may be a gotcha for you, if you will, and how you can avoid it. And I think that's important. Once again, that's 336-586-5861. This lady I was talking about, she lives over in Winston-Salem. I heard about her because she was a neighbor of a client of mine.
Got it.
And so then I did talk to those folks, but wasn't about investing. They just want to hold on to their money and pay for that nursing home bill. But they don't want her in just any old nursing home.
Right.
Because she does need some care.
Yeah.
But she's got a strong heart. It's more the Alzheimer's side. So she could be in there 4, 5, 6 years.
Yep.
She's not like 100. She's 77, 78, 79, somewhere in that range, if I remember right.
Yep.
So I just don't want this to happen to a lot of people. You got to do the proper planning. State planning's part of it. A few $1,000s could have avoided a lot in taxes, made it much simpler on her family as well. But, that's where people, don't take that next step.
Well, as you're listening to Bryan explain this particular case scenario, if you want to take the next step so that you don't end up in this same circumstance, give us a call. Let's set some time on the calendar to start the conversation about a review of your savings and investments. 336-586-5861 is the number to dial right now. We're also online, gaiserfinancial.com, or it's 336-586-5861. I think a lot of people go into retirement, particularly here in the Piedmont Triad area. People have bought a home maybe, in the 90s and what we've seen in the housing market over the last 5 years has really just elevated the value of so many homes. But it's not just homes for people, Bryan. People going into retirement and they've got maybe a lot of stocks that they've invested in. And now they're sitting under, they kind of feel like, I was having this conversation with my dad recently, actually, where he's like, I bought this stock back in the 90s and now I'm sitting under this. It's almost like a weight on him. It's like, how do I get out from underneath it without creating this huge domino effect of all these different kinds of issues, taxes, rising Medicare costs. So where does somebody begin if they feel like they are in this same type scenario?
I just had a client move from the Villages in Florida up to Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
Right? Because their son lives in Jacksonville and they just need him closer by now because of their age, right? Yeah. They're like 84 and 89. And the reason I bring this up is they looked at this community that they love. And it's a retirement community that you can, it slowly but surely, it can take you all the way to the nursing home if you have to.
Okay.
Right? And they pay a monthly bill. Well, they moved there 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, down to the Villages, right? From Greensboro. And when they moved down to the villages, now some issues came on. They're going, okay, you know what? He's getting a little slower, whatever the case may be. They decided that's about a 3-hour trek up to Jacksonville from the villages. So she goes up, and they move up there to the same place that was $5,500 a month is now $9,000 a month in just 3.5 years for pretty much the exact same thing they were looking at just 3.5 years ago.
Wow.
But they want to live there, so they move there.
Okay.
But it's like, man, going to those retirement communities is going crazy. It's going through the roof because that's a large segment of our population.
Yep. Uh-huh.
And it's like folks have got to think about the reality of what we're dealing with. And it's numbers.
Mm-hmm.
It's just pure math and being smart about your debt or no debt. Should you pay off that mortgage that's 2.5%? Probably not. You're probably paying off principal. Let your money build. You're probably making more than 2.5% just if you're in a fixed account. So it's just making right moves that can compensate for these crazy prices.
Yeah. And
where they're going to go and when they're going to end, I don't know. And as far as fixed rates, I see them hanging around for a while. We thought they were going to pull back, but now that we've, dealing, it's just bottom line, we're dealing with the Iran war.
Mm-hmm.
And it's expensive, but if the cost is what they said it was, from a bomb standpoint, I get it. Mm-hmm. It's just part of life. Mm-hmm. So the bottom, and we're going to have these surprises. Nobody wants this crap. And, but that's just what it is.
Yep.
Folks, 336-586-5861. Once again, if you want to sit down, go over your situation, make sure you're not missing anything. You may be. Most people that come in never heard about this or never heard about that. 336-586-5861. Don't let it gotcha you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's really what it boils down to, Heather.
Don't let the gotcha get you. But when it comes to retirement, having a plan in place, that's what's going to help you avoid the gotchas. Bryan and his team ready to help you figure out a plan of your own. Again, the number is 336-586-5861. If you are near or in retirement, if you've saved at least $500,000, that's where you're going to see the power of this kind of planning take effect. Bryan and his team, they want to show you what they can do for you to avoid those gotchas in this next phase of life. 336-586-5861. You can also find us anytime at gaiserfinancial.com. That's GAISER financial.com.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast. To learn more, visit gaiserfinancial.com. Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature.